All right, we're recording.
All right.
So Alex has already... So I invited Alex onto the podcast for episode 2. And Alex is already coming in with new issues, talking about we need a format. Alex's ideas that he wants to pose on my podcast.
Whoa. Format, I did not say we need a format. I asked what the format was. And I was given no response.
To which I said no format.
Okay, no format.
That's different from no response.
No format is not a format.
It is, man.
No,
it's like free writing, but podcast style.
I think they call that free balling.
Yeah, I guess you could call it free ball format.
What do you think about the current controversy with the godfathers of podcasting? Noel Miller and Cody Koch.
What do you think about Joe Rogan and his new product, Alpha Brain?
Haven't seen it. I know way more about the Cody Koch Noel Miller thing than
I don't know much. I know Cody Koch, so he pretty much was abusing. So he's cheating and abused this girl, right? Mentally.
The big thing I know is that he was at a party. Tana Mojo was there. That was back when they were making videos when she was 16 and he was 25. And
there was like sexual.
They fucked. Apparently, some other like.
When she was 16?
Yeah. He was 25. Some other, like, YouTuber or something.
So he should be in jail.
Yeah.
Is he in jail?
No. Just DJ just said in Las Vegas, man.
I know he's losing all of his fan base because if something came up again.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
And it's way worse than all the other stuff. That's why you have all these... I keep seeing all these TikToks where, like, it's someone giving their take on it, and they always start the video with, like, a disclaimer, like, I've been a Cody Koch fan since the Vine days, since 2013.
Since... Right whenever he started being a pedophile.
Which is 3
years ago.
Which is from the start. It's like, I know Cody Koch. It's like, dude, I don't think you realize that this is not a flex or like you know too much about this man. You're obsessed. Like, this is unhealthy. You need to get outside and maybe touch some grass.
I remember my ex tried to put me onto Cody Koch, and I was like, he's fine. That's what I thought about his videos.
I don't think you can be put on to Cody Koch at this point, unless you...
No, I mean, at this point, all the shit I've seen come up, I was just like, okay.
No, even before that, like, the influence of them two, of their format, of just like, hey, we're just gonna be two dudes, we're gonna make jokes about, like, reacting to stuff. They basically set the tone for, like, the modern sort of, like,
I never listened to their podcast. The only podcast I've listened to is the Misfits podcast in 2019, which had Swagger Souls, McCreamy.
See... The only podcast I listen to...
And Almost Friday podcast.
Almost Friday can be funny.
Yeah.
Their skits are good. I only really listen to sports podcasts, man. Because the thing about these, like, comedy ones is the personality... You're like...
Hey, we're a comedy podcast. I mean, I
thought the format's no format, man.
There is no format. For episode 1 was a comedy podcast, okay. I would say. Okay. It was Taco and I just chatting about whatever. I don't even know. I don't remember at this point, if I'm being honest.
I think my thing with some podcasts is that they start judging too many people on an individual basis and don't stay super large. That's why I think that Rufus Rice, that Radio Rufus podcast, even though the jokes can be crude, I think they're nail on with the sense of it, with the sense of humor of it all.
Yeah.
Where they're never actually, like, talking about the person or trying to figure anything out about these, like, that weird Florida man story with the gator where he, like, wrestled the gator in his pool. You remember?
Oh, yeah, with his dog. A dog has tried to attack his dog. Yeah, I've heard about that.
And he won.
Yeah. But I believe it.
I believe it. But their whole thing is, like, they start shitting on it and the guy, but they're not actually shitting on the guy. They're just, like, making up their own bits about how they think it could have gone down. Like, what if...
They're just teasing the situation.
They're teasing the situation.
Not actually the person.
Yeah.
And that's a good way of doing it.
It's a great way of doing it.
In today's day, man, it's hard to be a comedian.
Yeah.
It's easy, but it's hard.
My dad and I were talking about that today during the end of fishing.
On the no catch day?
Yeah, on the no catch.
Did neither of you guys catch anything?
No.
Yeah, it's terrible. How long were you guys out there?
We were on the water probably from like 4:15 to probably like 6:30.
So a little over 2 hours.
2 hour 15
2 hour 15. Yeah. So
the big thing is if my dad had been actually fishing to fish, he would have caught something probably, at least. No one was catching anything today. high waters on the Haw River. The water sped up.
So why was the day to fish for you guys?
Today was the day to fish because Orvis, you know Orvis, the like fishing shop?
No.
So it's
wait, yes, I do.
They're in
Yeah,
Friendly
yeah.
Center, yeah. It's this national chain of fly fishing centered retail.
Okay.
And that's how they started out, but you can kind of get any outdoor stuff for like nice sort of preppy, older school.
I think I've
preppy
seen
stuff.
stickers on cars.
They're
or
nice.
something,
No, their stuff is really high quality. A lot of it's made in the U.S. Good company. But they do, each of their stores, at least in North Carolina, and I think they do it everywhere, they will do these little events where you sign up and then you go, and the workers there, it's kind of like a climbing gym where the setters, where they know a lot about the sport. So it's a marketing thing for their store, and it's also to get people into fly fishing so that they'll then go to Orvis
so they buy
and
stuff.
buy shit. Yeah,
makes sense.
it's a great little business thing they do. It's nice for the community because fishing's a pretty antisocial sport.
So you saw, but okay, to go off topic, you saw Biden dropped out of the race.
Yeah, I did. I saw that right before we started.
You think Kamala Harris is going to be their nominee?
She has to be.
Yeah.
What are they going to do? I mean, like, they're going to...
Kamala Harris versus Trump in a debate.
It's not the debates I care about, man.
No, I know, but I'm just
everything
saying,
outside of a debate. I think she'd fuck him up in a debate.
No, she'd fuck him up in a debate because Trump just lies and just...
She's way stronger willed and louder than Biden.
Yeah,
so
but
he's
probably going to call her a bitch on live television.
No, what he's going to do is way worse. He's just going to, like, make a bunch of, like, subtly racist remarks that aren't even that subtle. A bunch of, like, misogynistic comments that aren't very subtle either. That's what's going to happen. I mean, he needs to drop out too, man.
Why would he, man? He's got a good chance at winning.
No, I know, but
he wants to win.
The reasons Biden dropped out, I think are true for Trump too. He's just he's able to handle
just saying,
those
like,
signs of aging.
The age of cognitive ability.
I think their cognitive abilities are. I think Trump's are definitely better than Biden's at this point.
Oh, for sure.
But like 2016 was 8 years ago.
But it's not.
He's slowed down.
The criteria for president shouldn't be how well can someone speak. It should be their base values, what they're like.
Well, I think it at a certain point.
It matters usually,
point,
but it shouldn't be the main focus. It's not going to be. I'm not going to vote for Trump.
But the cognitive stuff, I think at a certain point, it's possibly the highest stress job in the world, right? That job, it's known to have aged every single president. Like, every president that served back-to-back terms, if you look at their...
Obama, man.
He got a whole head of gray hair after 8 years.
Yeah.
You know, like, and he went into that thing spry, young, like, guy in his...
Mid-40s.
Was he...
Late 40s.
I thought he was late 40s, right?
Yeah, he might have been 48 or something.
Yeah, but he wasn't old.
Yeah.
You know?
He was getting to gray hair time, though, regardless, I think.
He was starting to, but that job definitely sped it up, man.
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason so many presidents... Like, look at Bush, man. Look at W. Bush. One of the most... Actually did some, like, incredibly evil things as president.
Yeah.
And now he's, like, gone doing the complete opposite. He's just, like, being a nice little grandpa, making his paintings, like... Just doing low-stress retirement activities.
Yeah. Same goes for Obama, man.
Yeah.
And good on him, man. I mean, not fuck George Bush, but good on Obama.
Honestly, no, like, fuck George Bush for sure, but, like, also, good for George W. Bush. For settling into old man life.
I guess I should thank him for not still being involved in politics as an old man. Like how Biden and Trump and
could be, yeah.
And who is that guy who's really old, like towards the kind of
Carter?
No, not Jimmy Carter. Not a president. He was some kind of judge, some kind of Supreme Court judge.
They all do it. All the Supreme Court judges.
Nah, he was
on there, man.
Hella old though, but like 86 or something.
Yeah.
But I forget his name now. It was some like. I don't know, but he was really well spoken.
Speaking of the legal system, man, I was driving on Wendover, right? I'd just gone past the that garden supply store with all the big things, the gorilla and shit.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the side of the buildings because we have a salvage down there, and the lady who owns the property that we're salvaging, her family used to own all of that land on both sides of Wendover. Right, and so she was telling us about where one of this, like, her grandma's store or something was right there. And so I was trying to figure out, okay, Where might it have been? I'm looking left, and I see in the driveway a sheriff's charger. He's sitting there poaching speeders. I'm going like 65 in the 45, probably 200 feet.
Did you slow down time?
I literally slammed the brakes as soon as I saw him, and I saw him like 300 feet before I would have been parallel with him, or perpendicular.
Okay, so he didn't see you.
No, I think he did, because I saw him inch forward a little bit. I think I white privileged my way out of getting pulled over.
Good shit.
So
Way to practice, man.
Yeah, I think I think I exercised some privilege this evening.
Dude, Taco on the podcast, well, actually, no, I think we actually stopped recording while he talked about this briefly, because he was talking about some of the shit that was not podcast friendly, but he pretty much was telling a story about how his sister was trapping and had a bunch of weed in a scale in the car, and they got pulled, and Taco got in zero trouble for it, got out of it, and I was making jokes about Taco receiving white privilege as a mixed person.
Hey man.
He was 16 at the time,
not
so
cool,
it probably
Jonas.
was part of...
Not cool.
Yeah.
Not cool, man. Not
It's
cool.
all right. It's not on the podcast. We don't have the bit where I, like, poke fun at the racially unjust...
You've admitted it to this podcast, man.
It's in episode 2. It's in episode 2.
Hey.
We can go ahead and label Jonas Freeze
good
as...
on you, though, for owning up, though, you know? Way to be a big man. Way to take the high road there.
We can take the high road. So I think it's more of the low road, kind of sharing tacos.
Yeah, it definitely is the low road there. But at least you know you took it.
But Taco was a great guest. I gotta say, the first episode, Rachel was an okay guest. Not as good as Taco, I have to say. I appreciate her support. She did pull up some clips for us during the podcast. So she was, she provided.
Just, I've been on the game a lot lately.
What game?
Last few days. NCAA College 25.
Nice. I'm doing a Skyrim playthrough on my channel now.
See, I think what you really ought to do is a road to glory in NCAA 25. No, dude, I'm telling you, if you want to get big on this YouTube thing, you got to play the games that are trending. And that's the #1 trending game right now. Everyone and their mother is making a video about it. It's all about, can you make the road to glory as personable as possible? Because it's way more immersive than any other like EA football game of the last 10 years.
Yeah.
But it's still not like Skyrim immersive, you know, like at all.
Yeah.
So those playthroughs, it's about how much extra story can you build into like the story that's already there.
I played the 2K21 my career, which is pretty bad. Yeah. But I had a really funny character.
Those my careers fell off really hard around like 2K20, like 2K19, 2K18. I would say were like probably the two last good 2K my careers, and even those were downhill from the previous ones.
Yeah. No, it was a cool concept though.
No, it's a really, really cool concept. That's what got me into 2K. Was I watched? I don't even remember who was it. It was one of the big 2K YouTubers of the time, and it was like 2018.
Isn't there's my career in the Madden games now too, right?
It's been there for 5-6 years. It sucks. It really sucks. Road to Glory is really fun though, I will say, like, because you have to, as long as you pick underdog, you have to work your way up to playing. And if you go to like a big school or like a school that doesn't show you in the offer sheet that you'll be like, you have potential to be a third string right away, you might not play. Like, I've been seeing so many people
You might not play in your own.
No, literally, you might not make it. Like, you just might not. I've seen so many TikToks of dudes being like, damn, bro, I really skipped class every time and got blocked by a girl, put all my points into practicing, and I still never touched the field, man.
That's pretty funny. Oh, I have good news. So I copped a pack of Pall Malls.
Yeah,
Open it up. Golden ticket. Golden Pall Mall ticket. I've been invited to the PallMallUSA.com's annual selection, a very limited selection, like cigarette con kind of thing, where you have to win the golden ticket to be able to go. So I got it. I won it. I opened up the pack. I was like, what is this? Like, golden ticket thing that's in here.
Wait,
and
so
I read it.
Where's this convention? Where's the Pall Mall convention?
I have no clue, but we're going. We're certainly going.
Where's the Pall Mall?
I don't know. Somewhere in the South, I imagine.
Nah, it's gonna be in like
LA.
Nebraska.
It's in
Omaha,
Wyoming.
Nebraska.
It's in Wyoming. We do a road trip
It's
to
on
the
the
Pall
can-
Mall convention.
It's on the University of Wyoming campus in the student center.
But I'm just happy to see things like that. I'm just it put a smile on my face to know that there was a cigarette golden ticket thing.
You know what? That does put a smile on my face too. You know why? It shows the marketing agencies, they're still working their hardest.
There's still much more to be done.
There's so much more. Everyone watched Mad Men and was like, okay, this is really interesting. The last time that they could really market, it's not Dunzo.
I know. I want to
That's
shape it a little bit.
like last year, you could really advertise cigarettes, the mid-50s. But Pall Mall, man.
Pall Mall does it.
Props to them. They know how to, maybe they don't know how to draw in a new audience, but they know how to keep their base.
Exactly. How many old guys do you think are going to Pall Mall, USA?
I think, okay, let's ask the more important question. How many people do you think know that there's a chance they could win a golden ticket?
I had no clue. I had no clue until I won it.
What if it's in like every third pack?
It's like if you buy maybe 2 or 3 packs of Pall Mall, you're probably been invited to the convention.
You got a pack of Pall Mall.
This isn't Charlie and the Chocolate Factory where you get 8 kids who get to go, or whatever.
Because I mean, like, how big of a deal is the Pall Mall convention? Every year, anyway. I feel like Comic-Con, in terms of the convention,
a few thousand, man. A few thousand gotta go.
Yeah, but like, let's think of the top 3 like conventions these days. Comic-Con, they've fallen off.
Yeah, Comic-Con's fallen off.
Anime Expo's fallen off major.
It's still pretty big though.
Yeah,
I think there was 20,000 people at the last Anime Expo.
Dude, maybe this is just nostalgia talking, but 2017 Anime Expo. Do you remember?
It was crazy. Yeah,
like,
it was right. It was crazy.
It had to have been twice
Demon
the size.
Slayer was coming out. They had the Demon Slayer ad. That shit was insane. I mean, I watched it obviously on like YouTube. Like,
okay, you know how everyone for
I think
the
I
last...
watched. Did Giga go to it?
Yeah, Giga went.
Yeah.
The Anime Man went.
Yeah.
And do you remember the Anime Man's friend who stopped making YouTube videos in like 2019? The Japanese guy that had like the girl that lived with him, and so she was in like half of his videos. They like were roommates at one point.
I'm not sure. Well, I gotta take a quick leak though. Yeah, you get to entertain the podcast. Actually, you know what?
Take it with you.
No, actually,
Give
Alex,
the people the content they want.
well, I go use the potty. This is a great time. Alex is just going to quickly run our sponsorship of Black and Mild. Alex, let him know. Let him know.
So shout out to today's sponsor, Black and Mild. If you haven't found out, they've recently launched a new program known as Aroma Rewards. How to get the swag. Find a code on the top flap, go to theblackandmild.com, bank the code to claim a reward, and sit back and enjoy. Our friends at Black and Mild wish you the very best and hope that you have fun hunting rewards. That's all the time for the ad we had.
We actually have one more ad, and I'll do this one.
Coming to you.
Come back.
Straight. Next ad.
Next ad, Pall Mall has gratefully provided us the Pall Mall Reds tonight and actually gave me a special golden ticket to the Pall Mall USA event convention. And I'm personally really excited to go. I'm excited to see fans there.
Just reiterate, it's the last 10 minutes.
Gotta thank a huge shout out to Pall Mall for providing the convention in the U.S. Man, we've been looking forward to this for years, for decades. I think it was 1998 when we had our last Pall Mall USA convention.
And you were a veteran convention goer, man.
I was there. I was there in '87. I went the one in '92, and I went to the one in '98, and I'm going to be there in 2024.
Hey, man, before you were on the cigarette convention game, you were into the Rocket League convention.
You
might have been one of their most promising young stars.
Yeah, me, Eric Jackson, Revel Shelton.
Shout out to him.
Shout out to the brothers. Shout out to the brothers in the back. Yeah, we went to
I have a question about Eric Jackson, actually.
What about Eric?
What do you think his fervor was like for the Colombia national team this Copa America. Because that man would not take his James Rodriguez Colombia jersey off once in fourth grade.
That's true. That's very true.
That man wore that thing.
He did wear that jersey.
Death.
Yeah, he wore it almost every day.
He actually, there were some stretches there where
he wore it a whole week, I think.
Yeah, no, and respect to him. Like, at the time, I didn't get it, but after going back, watching the tape on James Rodriguez in the World Cup, and then, you know, going back and rewatching the Arsenal tape of James, because that's how I remember him as an Arsenal fan. I don't remember his play for Colombia. I remember his play for Arsenal, for the Gunners.
I'm not sure if Eric really remembers his play for Colombia either. I think it was more so the fact that he is of Colombian descent.
And, well, his mom, not descent.
Yeah.
First, second gen, whatever term it is.
Anyway.
But, no, James had a great tourney this year. Shout out to James.
Shout out to James, and thank you for the sponsorship today. Light. I got one in the whip. Hold on.
Yes, sir, guys. I had a long day in the river today. Body's aching.
Here's our winning
Having
pack.
to have a few grunts in there.
Actually,
all better.
This one's kind of hard to light. I'll just light it.
All right, buddy, I can light it. Fuck you.
I mean, I'm like, look at it.
You know, I've been seeing ads for these.
Really?
Yeah. Where'd you get these?
These?
I think it's Latham that has a sign about them.
Yeah, I'm liking how much this Black and Mild's burning.
Yeah.
Which is not much. For those who are listening in, it's not much.
And for those listening in too, please know we are just avid cigarillo consumers. You know, at the current moment, we are a little broke.
I like me a good cigarola. I gotta say.
Yeah, like one day we're gonna upgrade to the cigar game, but for now, we're in the cigarillo game.
It brings smooth and tasty to the cigar, you know?
And shout out to Black and Mild. Shout out to the Swepsonville Sit-Go. They did not have wood tip jazz Black and Milds. So today we're going with the wine wood tips.
You know, and, you know, aroma comes from the reowned tradition of Middleton's master blended pipe tobacco. You know, that's something to note. And that's the reason you can have a cigar or you can enjoy a Black and Mild. It's guaranteed freshness.
I think that brings us to the nice 11-minute mark on the tobacco section of the podcast.
Our format for today.
Well, you know, it's something that Big Tobacco is. They need your help, man. If we didn't talk about them, who would?
The South won't make it unless we talk about it.
You know, there's a reason they left the South. All those tobacco plants and the factories out in Winston-Salem and Durham, you know?
The fucking wasted land.
It's because the people's love left. Totally wasn't cheaper labor overseas. No. The South, just North Carolina in particular, stopped appreciating what they had.
And, you know, I think we're called actually the greediest state in the U.S.
For what?
For that exact reason right there. And I say no to that. I say no. I say the greediest state, if we're going to talk about...
Top 5 greedy states, go. For non-tobacco related rationales.
Number 1, California.
I would have to agree.
Number 2, Hawaii.
No, take that back right now, right?
Hawaii.
I think you're talking about the white people in Hawaii.
I'm talking about the white people in Hawaii. Let me clarify. I'm not talking about a native...
That's like not most of Hawaii, you know? Hawaii, I think Hawaii's got to be an exemption from the list. They just...
You know, what am I saying? They don't even have good roads. They don't ask for shit.
Exactly. Hawaii needs... They need to be
I'm
their
just thinking
own
about...
place.
Sorry.
Like,
disclaimer, I was thinking about the white people I've met who moved to Hawaii.
Or have been.
Or went to college or been, you know?
Yeah.
I take that back. Hawaii is a state. The native people there, I hear, are wonderful. You know, there's cats and dogs on the streets.
I even hear they want independence. So I think we might as well just take them off the list. We're not even... They're not even a state anymore. In our eyes, we acknowledge the independence movement of Hawaii, and let it be known. You know, maybe we're the first ones to recognize an independent Hawaii.
Maybe we could have been the first.
We're living in a time of big political news. First the international courts recognize Israel as war crime committers, and next Joe Biden drops out of the presidential race. Third, Alex and Jonas drop Hawaii.
Second after California, Texas, bro. Everything's big in Texas, man, and it wasn't that way naturally. They made it big.
That's a nice shout. Greedy. That's a nice shout. But you also got to think though, a lot of Texas, especially Western Texas, a lot of flat land out there. A lot of just nothing to do other than build shit. Can't grow anything.
So what reason did they have to take it from the Spaniards, man?
The Spaniards? Well, who'd the Spaniards take it from?
The Aztecs.
I don't know. No, it wasn't the Aztecs.
Or the Aztecs way before.
I think it was just whoever was living there. I think whatever tribe was there, whatever people.
Some natives.
They were probably.
I think the Aztecs lived in northern Mexico.
They were.
They had to have been in Texas.
Yeah,
Texan
southern
area.
Texas. Yeah, Texas is so big.
Yeah,
I'm willing to bet you.
Exactly.
Pre-Spanish, there were probably minimum 100 different peoples living there. You
probably.
know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I think that we might be biting off more than we can chew with the whole pre-Columbian Texas thing. I think that's out of our range.
All right, number 3.
Well, okay, let's hold off on Texas here because I think there's a second.
What, New York?
No, I was gonna say New Jersey.
New Jersey's pretty damn greedy, man.
I think New Jersey is a decent
pretty damn
shout
greedy.
at number 2.
Yeah.
Want to talk about land?
Yeah.
They have some beautiful farmland in South Jersey, but look at North, man. That land ain't that different. Full of those tiny little houses.
Tiny little big cities and tiny little areas.
True. Now, but what's our criteria here? Are we judging people, the culture of the state?
I'm judging consumption of land. I'm judging consumption of food. I'm judging consumption of media.
Now, consumption of land, though, that's something where the average person, individually, can you really blame them? They're not the one, you and I, our parents, anyone else, the ones buying those houses, the ones buying those buildings, they're not the ones building them usually.
Yeah, true.
It's usually a handful of companies and maybe a handful.
But that's their blood.
Is it?
In a way.
What if you move there?
You're greedy for moving there, man. You're greedy for taking Jersey space.
There you go.
It's a greedy state it is. You don't need more. If you move to New Jersey, you're a greedy person.
Let's go in state by state. What if we go state culture by state culture here? We just judge these people.
Okay.
I got to put California number 1 still.
Yeah.
Someone who's born there, I've got to acknowledge that side of my nurture.
Los Angeles alone, bro. Los Angeles alone carries California to number 1 most greedy. Santa Cruz, I've heard it's beautiful. San Francisco,
also a very greedy place. Santa Cruz is incredibly wealthy.
Yeah, I know.
Right? I think wealth might have to.
Yeah.
Now you bring a great point up with Los Angeles, though. It makes me think of another city that starts with Los. Or
Las Vegas, Nevada.
Yeah.
Nevada could be 3.
Yeah, just swap one of those letters. I think
Nevada
3 is a good shout.
But I think it's just Vegas.
It's just Vegas.
I've been through Nevada. I drove through Nevada. Okay. Everything else besides Vegas, it just looks like Arizona.
Outside of Reno and Vegas, what's going on in Nevada, really?
Nothing.
Yeah, right?
Maybe testing aliens.
Maybe some ranches.
Area 51.
Yeah, that's a good shout. Hey, Area 51's another good reason to put him at number 3, right? That's our military being greedy.
That's intelligence greedy. That's knowledge greedy right there. We were pushing.
I love that. Everyone talks about greed being one of the sins, cardinal sins. What if it's not necessarily money, but knowledge?
Knowledge.
Right? What if that's the real sin?
Yeah. Yeah. I gotta say, to people who are actively seeking out more intelligence and knowledge, hella greedy, man.
Greed, man.
You've got plenty of knowledge as it is.
No, I'm not saying that's greedy. But those who accumulate knowledge and then gatekeep it.
True.
There you go.
That's
greed. And
that's exactly what Area 51 does.
True.
God knows what they've done there.
Now hear me out.
And we should start. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say on episode 2 of this podcast, I want to start another Area 51 invading movement.
But this time the date must be sooner. They got that date wrong. They let it simmer for too long.
Yeah, they were prepared.
You gotta act quick. You gotta within 3-4 months of starting.
How long do you think it takes the military to move an alien spaceship?
Oh, not long.
Exactly.
Probably seconds.
Exactly.
Milliseconds, you know, with that tech.
Light speed.
Light speed, exactly. We wouldn't even see it. So maybe it's impossible. You know, they might just have too much knowledge down there.
So we're going to put Nevada at number 3.
Number 4, I think we've got to go with the great state of North Carolina. Now, hear me out. Hear me out here. Right? Let's think about the transplants driving our housing prices up, bringing their New York City money to our cul-de-sacs.
You could apply that to, like, any state, though.
No. But North Carolina in particular, we're, like, the fastest growing state.
True.
And
Does that make us greedy, though?
Well, think about our tobacco, our textiles.
True.
Right? Think about the great American businesses to come from North Carolina.
You know, many that you think came from North Carolina really started in Virginia, though.
Yeah, true. I mean, a lot of them started other places, but where they really
boomed.
I mean, think
North
about...
Carolina was a booming agricultural place.
But don't forget the Homer Wrangler, right? Even if, say, jeans weren't invented here, they were producing all of them here in our great city.
True.
You know?
Yeah, you know what? I'll go ahead. I'll agree with you.
Actually, no. North Carolina can't be 4. We're forgetting about something that might have to go up there at number 2 or 3. Florida.
Yeah.
It might.
I was about to say.
Yeah. Or maybe even number 1. They have no income tax. If that's not greedy.
But I have a difficult time putting Florida on the list because of the sheer number of hurricanes.
True.
And just bullshit they've gone through.
And also,
as a state,
Florida's a tough cookie there, you know, because it's not like Nevada where it's one city. Really, they're one city. Miami, that's its own place.
Yeah,
it is, you know. Orlando, it's a big city. Fort Lauderdale, Jacksonville.
You know what? Because of Disney,
Tampa,
because of Disney World, because of Universal,
it's greedy though. That is pretty greedy.
That's greed.
That's greed. Yeah, Florida is a lot of ways.
And you know what? I take back what I said because of them going through hurricanes. You know what?
They rebuild quick.
They were aware that hurricanes occurred in the area, and yet they still built one of the largest cities in the U.S. there.
Hear me out here, right?
People are greedy for living there because they endangered their ancestors, the people who are lost.
Well, hear me out on this, though, right? How much disaster relief efforts do you ever hear going down to Florida?
Tons. During Hurricane Katrina, man?
Dude.
Tons.
Compared to Louisiana?
Yeah, true.
Compared to the other places that be getting hella support?
Yeah. I guess for how big Florida is, it's not a lot.
For this whole conversation, we have to address the elephant in the room here, right? In the United States, a country built on greed, is any state not greedy?
Oh, what? That was never a question, Alex. We there's a reason why we chose greed as the top 5 greediest, because they're all greedy.
Yeah.
And we needed to find which ones stand out.
And I think Florida has to stand out. It's a complicated...
I think it's 4 just because...
It's too nuanced compared to the other 3.
Exactly. Yeah. Good 4. Solid 4, though. Because it was close to being able to push 3.
We need to elaborate more on our Jersey pick at 2. I think we've got the weakest argument for Jersey right now. We just haven't addressed it enough.
Jersey has...
Sorry for the circle back for y'all listening in.
Yeah, for those who are listening in, we go ahead and just apologize for,
we just don't want to leave any holes in this argument, in our logic here. We don't want to address
because comments are going to be blowing up. I mean, they're going to be absolutely livid about that Jersey number 2.
Either going to be saying their state should be in the top 5, or if their state is, they're going to be saying it shouldn't be.
Or exactly.
We can't win here. So the best we can do
is to just make our argument.
Yeah.
With how it is.
And just to elaborate when we can.
I won't say you were the one who pointed out Jersey. I can't say a lot for Jersey. I will say the people I've met from Jersey, just greedy, man. Just greedy people, man.
I'll say this. Jersey is a very wealthy state. The average income is very high. And I'm not saying that necessarily automatically makes you greedy, but I'll say this. I may or may not have spent a month living with a guy from South Jersey, from Avalon, from a real rich town. Talking to a guy whose parents run a ski company, some sort of ski
Yeah,
gear
that's
company.
what I was about to say in Jersey.
Yeah.
They've got
But he
they've
would
got
never tell me
surfing,
which company.
They've got surfing, they've got skiing, they have pretty big soccer programs over there in Jersey.
They make tons of money.
And they make tons of money.
all of it.
Exactly. And that's like, here's the thing, North Carolina.
There's no love of the game in New
Can you
Jersey.
argue that we have a huge profitable business of skiing? Maybe you can say for surfing for sure.
Okay, no, skiing, that's tough. I mean, Jersey doesn't really have skiing. They have similar skiing to we do, like
better though.
Quality. Yeah, it's better than ours. We have really shit skiing.
Yeah.
So I think skiing, it's apples to oranges with North Carolina and Jersey in those regards.
Okay, all right, I can see that.
But say something like college sports, man.
College sports.
Sure, we have some of the biggest college sports brands, but there's a reason we do. Our state has a deep-seated culture of amateurism and love for the game, man.
Maybe label it greed for victory. Maybe greed for a different kind of greed than what we're looking for.
That's another. I really think North Carolina should be at 5, man.
Yeah,
because I think our college sports is a great another argument for that.
Yeah,
because North Carolina.
I was gonna throw Connecticut in 5. I was gonna throw Connecticut in 5. And here's what I'll say about Connecticut.
Sure, we did say the culture. North Carolina's been ruined by some individuals and some corporations. Yeah. But the normal folk, it ain't their fault.
You're dating a North Carolinian, they ain't that greedy.
They're fine. They're just getting by.
They're just getting by. They're just getting by just fine, too. And we don't work hard. We work hard, but we don't have to work that hard.
Yeah, man.
We have beautiful land. We hang out. We're not that greedy, man. Connecticut,
North Carolina
though,
knows a lot about work-life balance.
Connecticut is big business. Connecticut is sales jobs. What is the market
What's
in
the
Connecticut?
average work-life balance like up in Connecticut?
People have ducks for pets in Connecticut.
That's what I'm saying.
And that's ridiculous.
I mean,
absolutely ridiculous. How can you have a duck as a pet?
Jonas, I hate to do this, but this may be the pot calling the kettle black here.
All right.
Your uncle does own.
And when we not
one, not 2, but 3 pet ducks, and they have their own little plot of land.
1 got shipped away. He was too problematic, so it's 2 ducks now.
Okay.
For clarification.
Okay.
And second of all, I use my uncle as a big basis for that staple of greed.
Ooh.
No hits to Bradshaw. No hits to Orel Interiors downtown in Greensboro. Great company. Good stuff over there.
Great interior design firm. Gotta say, they do some top-notch work.
But I gotta say, the guy who owns it, greedy guy, man. Everything he's got, golden, silver, shining, marble, whatever it is, it screams Prince.
In Bradshaw's case, is that greed? Or is that just called eccentricity combined with flamboyance? Right? Like,
it's the greed of flamboyance.
Ooh.
That's what it is.
Ooh. Wow.
And so I'm going to go ahead and say, to the people who own ducks, in specifically Connecticut, fuck you. Tune out of the podcast. What are you doing?
I'll say this about Connecticut. I think they've got to be excluded. And I'm going to give a personal shout out why, too.
All right.
To counter your personal argument here. My grandfather lives in Connecticut. That man is turning 87.
Congratulations to him.
This September. Yeah, thank you. He's still working full-time. The man's never retired. The man's a substitute teacher at his grown age.
I was about to say, and what's that desire for? Wealth?
Well,
but then you said substitute
let's say
teacher.
this, right? My grandpa is such an ungreedy man that when he found himself with a windfall of wealth, maybe my grandma may or may not have blown it in the span of less than 2 decades. But
so
I say all this to say, Connecticut does, especially in Stamford, Connecticut, because it's not a very big state, so they don't have that many cities.
True.
A very long
One of the
and
smaller
storied.
states. I want to say actually the third smallest state, probably.
By land, maybe.
Yeah. Rhode Island, smallest.
Massachusetts. No, Delaware, Rhode Island are 1 and 2.
Then Connecticut.
It's gonna be a tough battle there between Connecticut and Massachusetts, I think.
Then what? South Carolina.
South Carolina's big, man.
South Carolina's not.
I think then you got New Hampshire and Vermont.
Or West Virginia.
West Virginia is very big as well. It's really up in the Northeast. All that in the New England area, that's where you're finding all the New England states are the smallest.
Are we counting land or water as well?
Land, just land.
Okay.
But I say all that to say about my grandpa. Sanford in particular, where he lives, has an incredibly strong working class culture. There's a lot of poor people in Connecticut. Like, the wealth disparity there, real big, you know?
What is this? But I mean,
But if we're talking the culture of a people, of a
true.
state,
We have to keep it in the center of what it is. The balance.
We've got to find the median.
Yeah, the median, not the mean. We're not pulling the mean because those wealthy
That's
guys,
distorting
those wealthy
it,
folks
yeah.
will pull it up higher than it is.
But the median there, culture-wise, I got to say, there's some hard-working people up there, you know?
All right.
And there's some violence. There's some, Aaron Hernandez is
true,
from Connecticut,
true.
right? Like, guy, another story of blowing it.
But, with...
Paul, that was a bad, for the audience, I did not mean for that double entendre to, or that triple entendre, really, with Aaron Hernandez there.
Oh, he did...
He did blow it.
Okay.
Another person, snob.
Yeah, gotcha.
And murdered, and blew some other people's heads with a gun.
He's blown...
And his chance at the NFL, yeah, by doing all that.
He's just blown everything.
When you say Aaron Hernandez blew it, that means a lot of things. He blew it in a lot of different ways. Let's just say that.
All right. So, what do you guys say? North Carolina at 5? Our rightful our
Are we
home
being
state?
biased because we know it the best?
Yeah. I think
We
are.
know the greedy side's the best. We see it at its worst.
I mean, shit. You know what?
But we also see it at its
Ironically enough, we're sitting in a graveyard which has
best.
some of the wealthiest people
historically
in the
South.
South.
Yeah.
In the South in general.
Yeah. For in the periods in which some of them lived.
Yes.
Yeah. For some of them.
Julian
yeah.
Price.
No, Greensboro was a wealthy city in the late
Price
19th,
Manor,
early 20th.
I mean, we've got some big estates.
The Moorheads, man, Southern.
We have Biltmore.
Historically speaking,
We got Biltmore in Asheville.
Some of the most influential people in North Carolina history come from Greensboro. There's a reason it's the third biggest city, Yeah. Governor Moorhead. And the way to tell the most influential people in North Carolina's campus, by the way, and I say this,
look
try
at the
not to be
street
biased.
names.
Not even the street
Cone.
names. Go to the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill and look at the names of those buildings.
Yeah.
Because those are going to be your most historically impactful and influential people of the state. And a lot of them are going to be old names, but sorry to break it to you, that's how history works.
Yeah. Those
if you got in on it early, your legacy is going to be bigger.
Yeah, true.
That's just going to be how it is. It's tough to make yourself a legacy in the middle of history.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of those famous people, a lot of those famous politicians from the late 19th century, early 20th, aren't quite as remembered because they're kind of in that in-between period of the U.S.
So with all this, we're going to throw North Carolina at 5 above New York because New York City alone carries 10 times the greed North Carolina as a state holds.
It does.
In my opinion.
I think New York could be a good shout, honestly.
Just because of New York City. Outside of New York City, dude, the Bronx, bro, that's not a greedy place.
When you say outside of New York City, you got to include the suburbs, man. That's where a lot of the greed of it is.
Oh, yeah.
In Long Island.
I mean outside of Long Island, Bronx, suburb area.
The Bronx is poor.
I know the Bronx.
You mean Manhattan.
Oh, yeah, Manhattan.
You're Manhattan and you're Brooklyn. The greed in those two boroughs alone, man, is crazy. And I say that someone whose godparents live in Manhattan.
Apparently, the rest of New York State is beautiful and
it is beautiful. That's where I learned to ski.
Yeah,
I've only been skiing once.
And I've heard the skiing there's good, right?
It was good. Yeah, my dad
real snow
was like, "Hold up, you're about to turn 18 and you've never skied," because he grew up in New York. And
he skied on the weekends, man.
Not on the weekend. Okay, that's a stretch. They weren't that bougie. But he skied, My mom did more skiing. I mean, she was kind of bougier growing up than he was, for sure. But, she was fake bougie, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She was that Pennsylvania mainline bougie.
Yeah, gotcha.
But
so, what are we saying? 5's a hard one.
New York. It's got to be New York. Gotta be.
Yeah.
Has to be.
Yeah. Because, I feel like we could. I feel like if we thought about it for a while,
we can make an argument for anything.
We can make an argument for anything, but it'd be way easier to make an argument for why we put another state over North Carolina than we can for New York.
True. And look, we've been spending all this time hating.
Let's do some love. 5
Least greedy.
5 least greedy, 5 most loving, and 5 most beautiful. Let's do all 3.
I love that.
Let's do 3
Yeah,
positives
I love
for
that.
1 negative.
You know,
let's just smash it.
Let's just encapsulate America, man. Yeah, let's
All right, no, just kidding, guys. We're not actually gonna do any positive lists. We're only gonna talk shit about.
I think beauty and least greedy we can actually combine the two. You know, I think we can just do one list of those, and then we can just call it on the top 5s.
All right. So what's our number 1?
What if we work? Yeah, let's work down. I like working down. It's easier to work down.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was thinking about change.
You're working it up, going 5 to 1. I get it.
It's going to be hard. We're going to overlook it more,
Whenever you're first thinking about it,
1.
The most impactful, the most everything.
There's a reason every pro sports draft starts with number 1.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, number 1, let's sit here and think for a moment. Least greedy.
Alaska,
there's not an ounce of greed in Alaska.
they have some of the most natural wealth in the world.
Yeah, but they also go across some of the most harsh living environments in the world.
To live in one of the most beautiful places of the world.
Exactly.
So I think Alaska, from the land to the people, through and through, that place is...
And it was a bit of a political rye in the 1800s.
Yeah.
And it caused some issues, but it went by kind of swiftly.
Yeah.
Once
we bought it.
We bought it, and then we didn't look back.
And there may have been a gold rush there, but that gold rush, we learned from it. We learned the damage to the environment.
Exactly.
That industrial extraction of that caliber and degree has.
Yeah.
And the state of Alaska saw that and said, fuck that.
Alaska is a staple for the U.S.
Environmentalism
exactly.
in the U.S.
Exactly.
Yeah. They do a lot of good up there. And some people down
Alaska's
in the lower
a smooth
48,
number 1.
man.
I'm okay with that.
I am too. I think in the Continental, though, there's some folk that are trying to do away with that. There's some companies trying to drill up there, man.
I mean, you're not kidding. Black Rock.
That's Biden's America, man.
Well, we don't have to worry about him anymore.
I'm a little worried about Trump's America. Not a little. I'm very worried about Trump's
I'm slightly worried about Trump's America. Biden's America has me shitting myself.
I have mild concerns about the uncertainty of the future under Donald Trump. But Biden, I'm real scared about the developments. It's like, imagine someone that was their logic with the vote. I think I just can't see what Biden would do. But I predict Trump. It's like, dude, what? The whole point of Biden is...
That is kind of how a lot of people are voting for Trump.
No, and it's ridiculous, bro. The whole point of Biden is that he wouldn't do anything major. That's his whole appeal as a candidate, is that he rides the ship. He keeps the status quo.
Yeah, nothing changes,
Nothing really gets better. Stuff might get mildly worse, but hey, mildly worse is better than, instantly worse.
True.
Which is Trump. And Trump is actually, disaster. It's not worse. It's kind of
just the whole, bro, the second I heard that he was trying to make it so that lesbian parents, so homosexual parents, I think this might specifically apply to women. I don't think this applies to homosexual men.
Let's go, Trump. You found a way to have
lesbians
double
only.
Whammy.
I'm not sure if that's the case. So
you hit misogyny and homophobia.
The reason why I'm saying that is because someone told me that they were trying to take away lesbians' rights to own kids that they adopted.
I believe it. I think I saw that when I was reading about.
Yeah, and so I don't know if that, if someone was just saying lesbians because that person's parents were lesbians, and so kind of which it was true, so that that would give them a reason to say lesbians instead of just homosexual couples.
Yeah.
But that alone is just insane to me that's something that seems like a problem. How many cases do we have in the U.S. where people with lesbian parents struggle from, let's say, mental health or financially or anything like that?
I don't know. I really don't know. And
I can't imagine it's much different than heterosexual couples.
I was about to say, it's honestly a statistic I don't really want to know because the difference in sample size,
way
population
less,
size,
way less lesbian couples.
It's just going to be a flawed statistic no matter what you try to do.
And two, if you even look at it, let's say there was more mental health in kids who were raised by lesbian parents, that would check out, considering all the fucking homophobia that's within our culture.
That was gonna be my next point with the statistic thing. It's
like you go to school, and if you tell people that your parents are gay, you're probably getting made fun of by 30% of the people you go to school with, minimum.
Of understanding of how statistics work actually did so much damage to this country in the 2010s, man. Like, people got the internet, and they started looking at all these numbers.
Now we use charts. Charts.
Data science! Data science! That's literally what the whole fucking boom of data science is, bro. It's executives
We've got
being
charts.
Like, show me the chart!
We've got huge charts with just phenomenal numbers and with all over the charts.
Our graphs. We make the best line graphs. We make the best bar graphs. In fact, you know the whole slices and pie.
Bro's just saying me and my people
visualize data the best.
Me and my people point out the most
obvious
the facts that we like that point to our arguments. Like,
yeah, we actually suck at teaching math and statistics so much that we can't just like look at the numbers. We have to see pretty pictures of them too.
Yeah,
it's like, bro, think about the fact that the Arabian Caliphates, right, at the height of the Dark Ages in Europe, invented calculus.
Really?
Invented our number system.
Really?
That's why they're Arabian numerals. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Math, like
I didn't know that was during the Dark Ages.
During the Dark Ages, yeah. The height of the Islamic
world.
world.
I thought that was like the Middle Ages.
Early middle. So look, it depends. Everyone, there's a
debate.
As an archaeologist,
let
me clear up the timetable. The academic timeline, commonly accepted, the common era, the way we break it down is Western Rome, false, right? It didn't happen overnight. It took centuries, really.
Yeah.
But say starting around the 500s, really the 600s is a nice, 700 is a really safe start, right?
Yeah.
That is our Dark Ages. That is like
700 to like 900, right?
Yeah, we're talking Anglo-Saxon, really into 1066, really till the First Crusade. The First Crusade's a good mark. Just from like just to help you remember dates and a timeline, it's not a good history. Like if you went up to a history professor and you're like, hey, yeah, I think in terms of the Crusades. It's like they'd be like, you're not wrong, but like you're missing a lot of the picture too.
Yeah.
But yeah, like into really say around 1200, right? So our 7 to 1200 is you'll get into the early medieval by the end of that range, but everything around then 7 to 10. In some places, even into the 1200s, right?
Yeah.
Quote unquote Dark Ages.
Yeah.
Quote unquote, because the thing that happened,
the Black Plague,
that was later though too. Yeah.
Yeah, that was like 900-ish.
That was
was in the thousands.
13s.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. That's the thing. The Middle Ages don't end until the.
I guess Germany would have to be a thing.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Well, no, Germany was a thing. It was the Holy Roman Empire.
I know, but I think Germany became its own country when? Like
1918.
Really?
No, sorry, 19th
that late?
century. Yeah, Prussia, all that. Yeah.
Really?
Before it was a bunch of different states. Germany, Italy is even more recent.
I thought Germany has been a country since the 1500s. Since around same time
Germany has had countries forever. Germany has always existed. Germany's always been a region.
Okay, but it wasn't the nation we know today until the
nation state
19th
model
century.
Really comes from Germany, dude, because all the Germans were like, yo, we're like pretty similar. We're really similar compared to like some of these other guys we have borders with.
Yeah, the Asian people.
We're gonna be way strong.
Africans.
No, just the French, bro.
Oh,
and the Polish and the nation state borders of Europe, like the current borders of Europe, for the most part, with exceptions obviously, are literally just sort of historical alliances that eventually codified into. This is a massive oversimplification. But they were like, hey, we're more similar to each other than we are to some of these other people nearby. What if we just like combine forces to be stronger than them?
Yeah.
And cultivated a national identity. The national identity is all inorganic, bro. Like it's not historically normal to have a massive national identity like we do in the United States.
Yeah.
Like that was a 19th century like the movement of nationalism, bro.
Yeah.
Like went hand in hand with the end of colonialism.
We're the biggest patriots in the world.
We are, yeah, man. Patriotism. I mean, that comes from
because we want to spread our patriotism to a global level.
No, it's because we're an empire, and
Yeah.
the historically best vehicle to get people on board in this country with that.
Like, there's
empire
probably a
is
pretty large
patriotism.
like portion of Americans that would see the world as a better place if it was all America.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, we're at 55 minutes.
Yeah.
We're near, and I think an hour is about where I'm doing our podcast at.
All right, let's speed through the positive section.
Okay. We have one state.
Yeah, we have
Alaska.
Alaska.
We got a little off topic
Sorry.
there. For those listening in, to clear the confusion, we were doing the. You might have kind of unfocused there for a minute while we dive into conversation. We're bringing this back now to the top 5 least greedy states, aka most beautiful states in a way too. So number 1 we had Alaska.
Number 2, Hawaii.
Number 2, Hawaii.
Hawaii, yeah.
Crazy that I was going to put Hawaii in most greedy, and now it's going to least greedy.
I've got to go with Hawaii just because when I think of Hawaii as a culture, unless like most of the white people there are not like Hawaiian. Like Hawaiian is the indigenous population, you know, like
yeah. So okay, we'll say excluding Hawaii University.
Whatever.
Or University of Hawaii, whatever it is.
And like I don't know.
That big ass school where all the white girls go.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Okay. I think Hawaii though is a real complicated. It's a big egg, and we don't want to crack that egg. So let's just say Hawaii at 2.
Hawaii at 2.
Number 3. How does Wyoming sound? Do you have a different shout?
Yes and no. They have small towns. They've got pretty much no big cities.
Yeah.
Holder of Jackson Hole.
Yeah.
Beautiful mountains. I mean, some of the most beautiful land in the U.S.
Where would you say Montana?
Montana, I would say Montana is least greedy than Wyoming.
Okay, less?
Because Wyoming is just...
I've only heard good things about the land of Montana, and I've only heard amazing things about the people of Montana.
Exactly. I've heard bad stuff about the people of Wyoming.
You're right. I have to.
I have a hard time throwing, because I want to say, and it's also such a big state too.
It is.
And I'm partially like, are we really going to put one of the maybe the third biggest land in the U.S. as the third least greedy? It just doesn't add up, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say Montana's a smoother 3. Wyoming could be top 5. We'll get to that in a minute here, but I'm gonna say Montana at number 3.
I think 4 is where it gets real hard. I think 3 is already hard, but we've got to just get into the whole issues of Utah. Utah's got to be a scratch. It's not there. The Mormons, man.
Yeah.
Idaho.
What about New Mexico, man?
I could get down with New Mexico. I could get down
Santa Fe,
Albuquerque.
The Albuquerque, exactly. Is Taos in New Mexico as well?
Yeah.
Taos? We both went to Taos. Taos is beautiful, man. Taos is great. Very small town, really nice people.
Yeah.
Took that carriage ride, whatever we did there.
Or was that? No, that was in Arizona, man. That was in Sedona.
Oh, was that Sedona?
That was Sedona.
I went to Taos on my own then.
I went to Taos as well.
Okay. we went to Taos individually.
Yeah.
Taos is wonderful.
Yeah.
I will say, you could argue some greed because there's still a very big kind of thing.
A lot of the indigenous did get murdered. And
oh yeah, and no, I was about to say, to this day, I
did.
didn't see a single blue collar worker who wasn't someone of some kind of Hispanic heritage.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of people building houses, and that same goes for North Carolina. And probably the same for a lot of places in the U.S. But I gotta say, I did not see a lot of white people doing some blue collar work. So
I guess New Mexico
versus North Carolina, I do. You know.
Yeah.
And maybe more time in New Mexico, I'd change my views on that. But New Mexico is a state, though, it feels not too greedy.
Yeah.
They seem to have
and for those at home,
people are aware of what New Mexico land was before it was a U.S. state. And Santa Fe as a city just completely displays that.
It's one of the oldest cities in the U.S.
It's built like a Mexican city.
Yeah.
It's not built like anywhere else in the U.S.
It's
I'm gonna
a Spanish city. Yeah.
It feels diverse. It feels diverse in its history, its culture. I think New Mexico's a decent number 4, but call me crazy if I'm wrong.
I like New Mexico there. For those at home, quick thing I want to explain. I think a logic we haven't explained. We are kind of omitting in this bottom section from the jump the Midwest and the Southeast. I think that it's just healthy scratches, like the histories of the two, slavery, and then the whole like the Great Lakes and all the industrial stuff up there. Like everyone that moved there for money. Yeah. You know, to the Midwest, I'm saying. Yeah. At some point, if your family goes back there, you know, the culture of the places. It can be working class. We're not going to get into 50. We're not going to rank them all, but just for the 5, it's definitely the whole region. I've got to put it outside of the top 5. Okay. And same with the Southeast, just the whole
fair enough
slavery thing. I think you kind of it's hard. You can't. There,
what do you know? How Virginia? Really?
You can't know, dude. Virginia's might even. I think we're getting
is most greedy. One of the most greedy, top 10 at least.
I think if you're going least greedy and most greedy, the orders are going to be different, and people would find that odd. But I think they would be different orders. Yeah. Yeah, because I think least greedy starts talking more about land use and all that, and you can say with most, but most greed is a real hard when you're talking about most. It's tough to say anything that isn't greedy. Everything is greedy in the U.S. That's capitalism, man. Country built
on consumerism and just So you don't want to put New.
No, I like New Mexico there. I think New Mexico is a good 4. They do good things with their land, to my knowledge. Right?
Yeah, it's preserved. Exactly. It is.
They take really good care of their archaeological sites. Yeah. You know,
part of the 4 corners.
Find a lot of dinosaurs, I think, there.
Yeah. So no. New Mexico.
New 4. I like that. I like New Mexico 4.
Okay. So for number 5, we could say Wyoming. I think Wyoming could get there, but I think we knew better. And I'm gonna say Vermont. What's your take on Vermont?
How does Maine sound?
Maine and Vermont, to me.
Maine had a lot of industry though too. The coast.
Yeah, they do.
But are we going? But today, because we're taking history into account for sure, big factor here. Yeah. Personal bias of mine, but we're ranking them today, in their current time. Okay.
I'm just saying, in Vermont, man,
they are nice.
People
live free or die.
People are living in houses made of wood, man. People are living in log cabins still.
Speaking of that, I will never buy a wood house.
Yeah.
It will have to be brick or stone for me.
I know. He's an archaeologist. He needs his house to be able to be salvageable in 400 years.
No. I just want something that's going to last me. You know how much upkeep wood is, bro?
Yeah, true.
And how flimsy that home really is? Think about tornado.
Yeah.
Your house is gone immediately. True. Brick house, going to put up more of a fight. Stone, going to put up even more of a fight. Yeah. Cement, concrete, that's going to put up big time fight.
The tornado can't do shit to concrete, man.
Yeah.
Can't, unless it's like the biggest tornado we've ever received in the South.
Now, if I was building a house, though, in an ideal world, it would be concrete, but then there'd be obviously timbers on the inside, timbers on the outside, 2x4 studs, put insulation on both sides, nice plaster walls on the inside, not drywall. And then on the outside, I would get some nice, probably wood siding. Or maybe, brick siding or something. But I would get something so it's, or I would just paint the concrete real pretty. Yeah. Murals or something.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, so number 5. So no go on Vermont. I'm saying no to Maine. Man.
Vermont actually is a good, I do kind of like Vermont at 5. I'm coming around to it. What about
the more you think about it. New Hampshire, anywhere in that northeast.
No, not anywhere, just those 2, I feel like. Those 2 are kind of interchangeable with each other. They're very similar
you have New York next to them, and then you've got...
well, no, you got Massachusetts.
Yeah, Massachusetts is big greedy.
Rhode Island.
Missouri's a little more just north.
Missouri is in the Midwest.
Is it really?
Yeah, dude.
I thought it was north.
Dude.
I'm just thinking of
Missouri with St.
I'm thinking about Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Yeah, Missouri. Yeah. What am I saying? My bad.
Missouri, bro.
For some reason I thought what should we call it? What's his name from How I Met Your Mother? Marshall.
He's from Minnesota.
He's from Minnesota.
That's the north part of the Midwest.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Minnesota. My bad.
What about the Dakotas, man? At the 5 shout, one of the Dakotas.
I don't know anything about North or South Dakota.
I think that's the thing. There's not much to know.
So maybe that makes them pretty not greedy.
I don't know. I don't really know why there's not much to know other than Rushmore in South Dakota.
Yeah.
I mean, North Dakota, I would say to me, the thing I know most about in North Dakota is North Dakota State University football.
Yeah.
FCS powerhouse. Shout out to them.
I can't say anything for the Dakotas, so I can't argue for them to be.
What if we
in top
leave
5.
5 off? Top 4.
Top 4.
Top 4.
Top 4.
We just ran through the honorable mentions.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys. We're at the hour and 5 mark. A little bit of action, a little change, a little 20-second change. We're gonna cut it here for episode 2. Stay tuned. Who knows when episode 3 will come out?
Yeah.
Could be Christmas. Could be Halloween.
Could be Easter.
It could be a week from now.
Yeah.
So just stay tuned and it'll be out there. All right, thanks, guys.